What is up, YouTube? This is Pharaoh Tom here. I hope you've had a great week. I've been building this deck here in preparations for my tournament this Thursday. This is my hero deck. So this is a deck we're going to be running this week. We have finished upgrading it. Pretty sure I think it's good where it's at, so we're going to go ahead and do a review on it real quick. This is a little different than some you've seen on YouTube, as a lot of people are just running multiple copies of the same stuff. We threw a little bit of extra in here, so it is a little different than some you've seen. We're going to be running Destiny Heroes. Most people have ditched Destiny Heroes for the Vision, but I think they work well together. So we're going to go ahead and jump into this deck. We'll break it up. We're going to start with the extra deck. So with the introduction, I can't speak today, of Link monsters. They're viable and essentially a necessity now to run anything from the extra deck. So that being said, we're going to be running one copy of Wonder Driver. So Wonder Driver is awesome. If a hero monster is normal special summoned to the link zone that it points to, you can get a poly, mass change, or any type of fusion spell card from your deck, from your graveyard. Right, so that is great for, I feel like he's awesome for after the fact. So after you've used a fusion monster, anything like that, and something happens to that monster, God forbid, you bring him out later and get that fusion spell back, get that mass change back, and continue running your combos. And then our last two links that we're going to be running in this deck are copy of Cross Crusader. So Cross Crusader is awesome. It's only on link 2. If you use link summon, you can target a Destiny Hero monster in your graveyard and special summon it. Right? And I contribute a Destiny Hero to bring a Destiny Hero monster with a different name from your deck to your hand. So Cross Crusader is essentially just to get another special summon out. So get another card out on the field to run fusions. He also has a 2 link zone spot. So that's it for the links. I feel like the pace of the games now, I don't need more than 3, because by the time you've had enough cards out and enough turns to summon 3 different link monsters, you've either lost or won. So definitely, links kind of bottlenecked everything, but they also sped it up because a lot of people are rushing to get boards out, and in turn, everybody's normally got 3, 4, 5 monsters out in a couple turns, and the game's over. So unless, of course, somebody runs Mystic Mine, and then you're all stuck doing nothing for 20 turns, and you run out of cards. So next, we're going to run one copy of Utopia. I'm running one copy of Utopia because I love Utopia. He's one of the best Xyz monsters. I'm probably going to get shot in the foot for saying that, but yeah, love Utopia. Alright, so we're going to run 2 copies of Masked Hero Anki. So, Masked Heroes, to me, some of the best hero cards out there. And Masked Heroes is also why I'm running the Destiny and the Vision Heroes, because when you run Mass Change, the monster has to be the same attribute. So all the Visions and Destiny Heroes are dark, so that allows any of those cards to be Mass Changed. Anki is awesome because A, he can attack directly. Yes, his attack is cut in half, but he can attack over top your monsters. And if he does destroy a monster, you can get another change quick play spell out of your deck. So basically, it's like if I can get a Cross Crusader out, get an Anki out the next turn, or same turn, I can get a Darklaw out, which is my next Mass Hero, which I'm also running 2 copies of. Darklaw is the most hated Mass Hero because any card that goes to your opponent's graveyard while he's on the field is banished instead of going to the graveyard. So Darklaw is one of the most hated and probably will never stay on the field long enough because everybody's going to be targeting him. Next, we're going to be running Destiny Hero Dominance and Destiny Hero Dystopia. So Destiny Hero Dominance I love because when he is destroyed, you can bring 3 level 9 or lower fusion monsters from your graveyard to the field. So because they're coming from the graveyard, not the extra deck, you don't have to worry about link zones. So Dominus to me is one of those I'll run towards the end of a game or later in a game, so I can bring back Dark Law and an Anki and stuff like that. Dystopia is just really there. I like Dystopia. It's only 2 Destiny Heroes, and it's pretty simple to get out. But its effect is when summoned, I can take a Destiny Hero level 4 lower from my graveyard and inflict its attack points to your opponent. Right? So our, I don't want to say trump card because it's not a trump card, but it's our, I don't want to deal with Thunder Dragons anymore. Protoplant Dragostapelia. So it takes a dark monster and 1 fusion monster, but when it's summoned, you put a predator counter on your opponent's monster, its level is dropped, and you can negate the effects of any monster that has a predator counter on it. And the predator counter is once per turn, quick effect. So you can do it on their turn, your turn, anything. But if they have a nasty monster with a nasty effect, negate it. Easy day. And it's still got 27 attack, so it's not going to be easy to get rid of. Great monster. Now, for the trump card, as everybody calls it. Vision Hero Trinity. Takes 3 hero monsters, any hero monsters. It's 2,500 attack, and when he is summoned, his attack is increased to 5,000. He can attack 3 times per turn. So essentially, you summon a Trinity, you can wipe out your opponent's board. The only downside to him though is he cannot attack your opponent directly, which makes sense though because if they didn't add that into that text, he could attack you directly for 15,000 points of damage. So he has a limitation, but still, you got a turn with 5,000 attack for 3 turns. Can't beat that. All right. So next we're going to run into our monster cards, and we are going to be running, like I said, Destiny Heroes. And for the Destiny Heroes, we're going to start off with 3 copies of Draw Hand. So Destiny Hero Draw Hand, when it's destroyed or sent to the graveyard, doesn't matter how it's sent to the graveyard, but during the next standby phase, he's special summoned to your field. So that's just a card. It's really good for ditching, for other effects, or just throwing out to get destroyed because it comes back the next turn. You use them as a link summon or for fusion summon. All right. We're going to run 2 copies of Malicious because the law says I can only run 2. But everybody knows why Malicious is here. You can banish 1 from your graveyard to special summon the other. Really good for bringing out the cards. Right? Now, these 2 guys, Disc Commander and Blade Master, are basically there as cannon fodder to bring out your fusions. But Blade Master, if you discard him from your hand, your Destiny Heroes gain 800 attack. And Disc Commander, if he gets special summoned, say by Cross Crusader, you get to draw 2 cards. We're going to run 1 copy of Plasma. He's difficult to get out, but pretty good effect. He can take your opponent's monster and attach it to him, and he gets the attack equal to the monster's attack. Or it's half of the monster's attack. So if you can pull this off and somebody's got a big card out, he automatically becomes pretty big. He's a difficult one to get out, but it's a nice little trick card. And then this guy, Destiny Hero Dogma. Destiny Hero Dogma is one of my favorites because he's got a pretty good attack, but his effect. So if he is special summoned by attributing 3 monsters, with 1 being a Destiny Hero, on the following standby phase that you still control this card, your opponent loses half their life points. So in the practice duels I've done with this deck, everybody hates this card. Once they see it hit the field, once they see its effect, their sole purpose in that duel is to get rid of that card. So while they're focused on that, I'm popping off mass changes off to the left and wiping them out. And all they're focused on is getting rid of that card. He's a good distraction. So next we have Vision Heroes. All right. So our Vision Heroes, the ones we chose to run with We're going to run 2 copies of Poisoner, 2 copies of Multiple, 2 copies of Minimum. So, and the reason that is A, we're running 1 copy of Witch Raider, who can be special summoned by using these guys in the spell and trap zone. Right? Great. And then we're going to be running 1 copy of Vion. So if he's normal special summon, you can send a hero monster from your deck to the graveyard. So, Destiny Hero draw hand. And, other cards that need to be sent to the graveyard. And then when he's in the graveyard, I can banish him to add a poly to my hand. So, he's great for getting, other things taken care of. But then, on top of that, we're going to be running 2 copies. Vision Hero Affairs. So Vision Hero Affairs, you discard a card, a hero card. You can special summon him from your hand. If he is special summoned or normal summoned, you can place a Vision Hero monster from your deck, except Ferris, in your spell and trap zone. So, great combo card. You can ditch a Malicious. You can ditch a draw hand. You can ditch any of those cards that are going to get special summoned back. Malicious specifically, you ditch a Malicious to summon a Ferris. Banish the Malicious to summon a second Malicious. You can automatically, if you've got a poly in your hand, you can run a fusion. If you've got, you could run a link to link summon something. It's always great. It's a great combo card. But we're running 2 Ferrises. So next, on to the few elemental heroes that we are running in this deck. So, kind of bouncing off the Vision Hero Ferris' effect, we're running 3 elemental hero Shadow Mists. So, Shadow Mist is going to be one you're going to want to ditch to summon Ferris. Because when this is sent from the deck, or when this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add a hero monster from your deck to your hand. So, basically, you dump Shadow Mist, you get another hero monster in your hand. And if it is special summon, you can add a mass change to your hand. So if you want to run, if you need a mass change, you're in desperate need, you can just straight up summon her instead of ditching her. And then, even still, you can still get the effect of grabbing another hero monster, because when she's destroyed or sent to the graveyard, you can still run that second effect. So that's pretty good. So we're running 1 copy, Elemental Hero Solid Soldier. When he's normal summon, you can special summon a level 4 lower hero monster from your hand. So he's good for getting, it's essentially 2 cards at once, basically. So, good card. Solid Soldier, you're basically running him to get a link out. So, summon Solid Soldier, special summon another card, link summon, and then run a fusion card. So, good for getting other cards out. So, the next one will be 2 copies, Elemental Hero Stratos. As I've heard him called before, the Lord and Commander of the Heroes. So, great card. He is semi-limited, so I can only run 2 by law. Great effects. You can destroy spell and trap cards on the field up to the number of heroes you control, or add a hero monster from your deck to your hand. Now, what it doesn't say is you can only activate 1 Elemental Hero Stratos per turn. So if you summon a Stratos, right, and you're able to special summon another one, you can run it twice per turn. You see what I'm saying? So it's not limited to 1 Stratos per turn. You can only use 1 of his effects per turn. You know what I'm saying? You can only use 1 of these effects per summoning, but if you're able to get a second one on the field, nothing saying you can't use both effects. Stratos is one of the best elemental heroes ever made for, an effect monster outside of the fusion realm. He can be there to wipe out a troublesome back row, or get somebody else in your hand that you need. And then for the last monster card, it's a random one, but I just like him. Winged Karibo. He's there basically, if he's destroyed, you take no more battle damage that turn. Say the worst happens, they summon every single Thunder Dragon they can. I know, sorry, I'm very salty towards Thunder Dragons. But if he's out there and he gets KO'd, you take no more battle damage, you can reset and start up the next turn. Alright, on to our spell cards. So we're going to be running one copy of Poly with a Fusion Recovery. So in practice duels that I've done with this deck with other people and in simulators, running more than one copy of Poly clogs up the deck. So you don't want to clog up the deck with something that I have multiple ways of summoning. Alright, with that being said, running a Vision Fusion and a Fusion Destiny. Alright, so Vision Fusion I love because it's any hero fusion monster, so I could use it to bring out Trinity from my extra deck, and then I can use monsters from my hand or field, and I can use up to 2 monsters from the Spell and Trap Zone. So if I have a bunch of fusion Vision heroes in my Spell and Trap Zone, and I've got one hero in my hand, I can use both of those and then one in my hand to bring out Trinity. Awesome. Fusion Destiny is great because it brings out one of my 2 Destiny heroes, fusion monsters, but cards. It's essentially like Neos Fusion, with a catch though. It's destroyed during the end phase of your next turn. So it's got a little catch to it, but it's good for getting something out quick, fast, in a hurry when you don't have cards in your hand. Right. And for the last special summonings, fusions, we're going to be running 3 copies of Mass Change. I love Mass Change. It's a quick effect. You can use it in the middle of the battle phase. You know, you can be running 4 cards. You can run your attack and you can drop this and attack again because it's a new card. So Mass Change is awesome. We have a couple ways to bringing them back or searching them from the deck via Elements of Shadow Mist and Wonder Driver. So that's awesome. Just in case you need some protection for your cards, we are running 2 copies of Power of the Guardians. I'll probably catch some junk for this, but to me, still the best cards running in Duel Links. They're pesky. Obviously, if your opponent has a lot of stuff that can get rid of back row, they'll get gone. But it's great for monster protection because it's 500 attack and defense per spell counter, and you get a spell counter for each time your monster attacks or when your monster gets attacked. So either one of the other things is going to happen. Either your opponent is going to be not attack your monster to keep it from gaining more attack, or focusing on trying to get rid of Power of the Guardians. And if they're focused on trying to get rid of Power of the Guardians, they're going to lose focus on the rest of the duel. So, and at the same time, you're gaining attack points. Alright, so next, we're running 2 copies of Vision Release. Vision Release, I can target a Vision Hero monster in my Spell and Trap Zone and special summon it. Right, so then I can banish this card from the graveyard the following turn, the following main phase, target a Vision Hero monster in my graveyard and add it to my hand. So you summon Vision Hero first, you get the monster in your Spell and Trap Zone. You can run this to bring that out to the field, bring your Ferris back to your hand. So you can get your Ferrises back and run those combos again. Run it back. We're going to run a Foolish Burial. Obviously, we're going to either drop Malicious or drop Shadow Spirit to get those effects running. We're running 1 H-Heated Heart to do some piercing damage in case I got some pretty good defense out. I thought about running 3 copies of H-Heated Heart, but it's not necessary. Veil of Darkness. During your draw phase, if you draw a dark monster, you can reveal it and send it to the graveyard, draw a card. So Veil of Darkness is great if you draw the Elemental or Shadow, or if you draw Malicious. You can ditch it, activate its effect, and still get to draw another card. So that's always a good card to have. And then for the last one, Destiny Draw. I can discard a Destiny Hero and draw 2 cards. That is it for the spells. And then for our traps, we're going to run Necro Fusion, right? Fusion summon a monster from your extra deck by banishing the materials in your graveyard. Great trap card. Bring out a fusion monster. Word of advice though. It cannot attack the turn that it is summoned out. So don't use this to bring out Vision Hero Trinity. You'll waste its effect. Do not use it for Vision Hero Trinity. Chain Hole. When your opponent activates a monster effect in response to a card or a card effect activation, Chain Hole is here for one purpose and one purpose only. Ash Blossom. Everybody is running 3 copies of Ash Blossom nowadays. and I hate it. So they activate an Ash Blossom effect. Now they either have to banish a card from their hand or deck with the same name, or I can banish a card randomly from the hand. So either they have to banish another copy of Ash Blossom, or I can take something from their hand. We're running a Heavy Storm Duster to take care of some pesky back row. Dark Sacrifice. If they're activating a card or card effect that would destroy a card, negate it and send a level 3 or lower dark monster from your deck to your graveyard. So you're going to use, obviously, the Vision Heroes and some Destiny Heroes are level 3 or lower. So we'll ditch those to get rid of the card effects. A single Destiny Signal, right? Because it brings summon a level 4 or lower monster Destiny Hero. Because A, we don't have a lot of Destiny Heroes in the deck, but B, it's also to get some more cards on the field. Most likely going to bring out a draw hand with that. So that way when he gets KO'd, he comes back the next standby phase. And then one last card, Torrential Tribute. Everybody hates it. I love it. Especially if you have a couple, like if you got a Vision Hero Ferris in your hand, right? You know you can bring something back out. You know you can special summon it. Drop everything. It's awesome. You got to play it right, though. You got to use it in a time where it's not going to leave you completely defenseless. All right, so this is the deck that we're going to be running this week in tournaments. I'll let you know how that goes in the following video. Hopefully it doesn't get KO'd like my last deck did. Thank you for watching. I know this has been a lot longer video than usual, but I just wanted to go through this deck. Any advice? Anything you think I should change, remove, add? I'll definitely take that advice and look forward to it. Other than that, I hope you had a great week. Catch you guys in the next one.